Today, I'm joined by Kelly Farrant. Kelly is the owner and managing director of Pest-Tech, a Kent-based pest control company. So, hi, Kelly.
How you doing?
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm very good, thank you. And you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. It's nice to see the sun out at last.
Yeah, it certainly makes a change, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, look, Kelly, I've been really looking forward to speaking to you today. So, look, first of all, just tell us a bit more about Pest-Tech.
Okay. So yeah, Pest Tech formed about 10 years ago by myself. We're a pest control company, and basically we deliver both proactive and reactive services. So when I talk about that is for pest control. So the proactive stuff is, for example, if you're a business and you deal in food production or a restaurant and you want a robust pest control system in place, then we offer sort of contracts where we come and visit, monitor for not just your normal rats and mice, but obviously all the different insects and stuff. Depends on what you do. Depends on what are the common pests that you find. And then the reactive stuff is, the common. I've got a mouse. I've got a rat. I've got a pigeon nesting in my loft, whatever. And it's a case of we become detectives, find out what's happening, why it's happening, what's going on, how can we resolve it, that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's the two sides of the business. What we actually cover, things like so the basic contracts, we do bird proofing, or your bird netting, bird spiking, that sort of stuff, working at height and the likes.
Yeah.
We do wildlife management, and we do rodents and insects as well. And yeah, some of it obviously is a bit of an emotive subject, but obviously we're there to deliver a service at the end of the day. And every one person's problem, or one person's love of something, another person's problem, and we're there to solve problems at the end of the day. And that's what Pest-Tech's about: solving problems and sorting it out, so you the client doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. We started 10 years ago. We're in Maidstone, and yeah, we got a team of 8 now. There's 8 of us,
Right.
and yeah, it's grown nicely over the years. So yeah.
Thank you very much. And interesting enough, before I came on this call, I made myself a cup of tea, and I put my hand into the big bag of tea bags, and some of them had holes in. So I was slightly interested. I was thinking, what's caused those holes in the tea bags? So after this call, I'll be exploring that, and you never know, I might need your services, Kelly. But I'll be in touch about that. But look,
Yeah.
excellent. So look, thanks for just giving us that bit of background. Actually, look, I've got to ask, what before we sort of get into things, what would you say is the most interesting sort of scenario that you've had with pest control? Either the most interesting sort of animal, or the most interesting sort of position that something's been stuck in, or where it's been stuck?
So I mean, it never ceases to amaze you what you find, what you get into. There's the whole side of the rats are so intelligent, we underestimate them and what they get up to and what they do, and and they're amazing creatures. As much as I don't like them, they are amazing creatures. And same with the things like the bed bugs, and how they end up where they end up, because detecting carbon dioxide, the anatomy behind them, it's on all these sort of insects and pests we deal with, is nature's amazing. It is amazing. And yeah, it fills my head with loads of useless information, but might come in handy in a pub quiz someday, who knows.
You never.
But I'd say the most interesting one was um, oh, that's a tricky one. I I had a rabbit cage out one time, and finding a badger in a rabbit cage, and it got itself stuck in there. And that badgers can be quite ferocious, and
I've heard.
and they're protected, and yeah. So trying to resolve the situation, it's just
Yeah.
it was quite.
They're quite
quite
big things as well, aren't they?
yeah. And as I say, we just find all sorts of weird and wonderful. You also find yourself in weird and wonderful places
I
that
can imagine.
you never think you know, whether it be TV studios or whether it be in a big manor house that you think, oh, then this place is immaculate,
Yeah.
and like everything, there's voids and pests get everywhere. So you get to go to some really interesting places, and sometimes security and stuff like that. It's weird what you come across. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, thanks for sharing that. I was just interested to know. But look, let's go back. So you, if I understand correctly, you spent about 25 years in the military.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, so why did you decide to start your own business? What made you sort of move from that into owning your own business?
Well, quite rightly so. I come out of the army 10 years, well, a bit longer than 10 years ago, having done 25 years, and I followed the norm. I come out. I was in the Royal Engineers, and the norm was to go into construction, stroke health and safety, and I dipped my toe into that, and I quickly realised that I'd been doing that for 25 years, and
Mm,
I had the opportunity to do something completely different. So I found myself doing the same thing as what I did before, but just in civilian attire, not army uniform. And I just thought, well, there's got to be more out there. There's got to be, there's chance to do something different. And I got another job, and I quickly realised that I suppose it's part of the transition coming out of the army. I found it quite difficult to
mm,
go straight into where I was a regimental sergeant major and I was the person telling everyone what to do. All
yeah.
of a sudden, I was being told what to do, and yeah, I just found that quite difficult.
Mm,
I won't lie, it was quite difficult, and I quickly realised that I'd rather work for myself, where I was in charge of my own destiny, and that's what drew me to the idea of setting up my own business. Um,
okay. And when you set up your own business, what was the vision? What did you sort of go, right? Okay, this is what I want my business to look like in the future. What was the vision that you had?
so I did actually think about. I mean, when I was going down I got my whiteboard out, and I did the mind mapping of what I need to do, and what website, name of a company, this, that, and the other. And I was thinking then, a lot of people just, I could have called it KF Pest Control as my initials. And I looked around, I thought, well, what if I get bigger? And what if, there's the thinking of the brand and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I need to have a name that doesn't resemble just me, but it's something that could be moved on or franchised or whatever. So I went down that route, and thinking that I didn't ever envisage it being just me,
Yeah,
but I didn't see beyond it being just me.
I see. Okay.
Um, because I thought, well, coming out of the army and going into business, I didn't even know what an invoice was. I didn't know anything, and but I just knew that it could grow, and if I did well, and things could
Okay. So you had that. So whilst you didn't really know how it was going to grow, you knew it could, and you were by even choosing the name of the business, you had that in mind of saying,
yeah,
look, this has got the potential. I'm not sure how I'm going to get there or whatever, but this has got the potential that it could be bigger than just me.
yeah.
Um, okay, so look, and you mentioned there about when you came out the army, you didn't know what an invoice is and that sort of thing, but look, I'm guessing that some of the things you learned in the army have probably been really helpful in business. And, I guess Well, I guess for one, so, things like planning.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, I haven't been in the military, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume they're very big on planning.
Systems and processes.
Yeah, exactly, which is something that's important in business. So what are the things that you've been able to, that you learned in the army, that you've been able to apply to your business?
So straight away, I mean, we call it sort of transferable skills.
Mm,
Um, there was lots, like you said, uh, the army's very good at planning,
yeah,
and that's everything's got a plan, and by planning, that's sort of the 7 Ps and all that.
yeah,
Um, by planning, it sort of scopes out the work, what you need to do, what needs doing, and etc. But there was more to that. The first thing was the fact I found the values and standards. The British Army's got values and standards. It's ingrained right from day one, and with that, there was things like moral courage to do the right thing.
yeah,
What I found in the early days is people loved the fact that I said I was going to be somewhere at a certain time and I was there.
yeah,
I'd do what said I was going to do. If I said I was going to do this, that, and the other, I did it. And then if I couldn't do something or tried to advise them, I would explain to them what I couldn't do and the reasons why, and just moral courage to do the right thing, honesty, all those things that really that's all I look for when I've got a business that I'm dealing with, a tradesman or whatever. I just want them to communicate well, be honest, be open, and tell me the facts and tell me if it's not going right, or or if it is going right, etc. And those sort of things that are really ingrained within the military of doing the right thing, and yeah. So that, I think that was the biggest, that really got me on the good steps right at the start, because I was finding people were loving the fact that I was, say, being open and honest. Sometimes we'd tell people, you don't need our services. All you
yeah,
need to do is give that a good hoovering, and that should clear it up. If it doesn't, you might need a bit of help, but
yeah.
try that first. And you just promoted a salesperson, because they're going to go and tell their friends. If you've got a problem, use this guy because he sorted my problem out and
Good.
didn't charge me. And and so yeah, it was
Yeah,
all about,
I
yeah,
call that creating raving fans.
yeah, yeah,
People that you've got in business, you've got advocates. Advocates are people that, like, they would say to me, Simon, do you know anyone that does pest control? And I'll go, yeah, have a word with Kelly at Pest-Tech. That's being an advocate.
yeah,
But a raving fan is somebody that actually, let's say you were down the pub and you weren't even talking about pest control, and I'd be going, do you know what? I had this great experience recently. I had this issue that I needed pest control for, and Kelly came along and he sorted it out for me. And I'm raving about you, even though nobody's asked me whether
yeah,
I know anybody that's
yeah,
a raving fan. And that's what you're doing by sort of
yeah,
creating that trust
yeah,
in people. So I love that. And I like some of the other things that you mentioned there as well. Values and standards, again, really important for any business. What are the values of this business? What are the standards? How do we do things around here? What do we live by? I think that's great. Do the right thing, open and honesty. Communication was the other thing that you meant there. Open and honest communication. Keep people informed of what's going on. All of these are very logical things, aren't they? When you
they
look
are.
at them, everybody's probably listening to this, going, yeah, we do that, we do that. But quite often people forget about them or miss them.
Yeah.
A couple of the other things that sprung to mind for me that I thought, might be things that you've picked up from the military were things like adaptability.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I just I just touched on a few. I thought,
Oh, no, exactly. Yeah, no, so no, that's okay. I know there must be loads, but
yeah, 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 yeah,
as you were talking, I was writing down things that also occurred to me, because you mentioned planning, but as we all know, plans don't always work out, do they?
no,
So, and the same in the military. You've got to be adaptable to changing your plan.
Yeah.
If things don't plan out as expected. Because like in the military, you don't actually, you create your plan, but you don't know how the other side might react.
Yeah.
You know, you make assumptions, but you don't know.
Yeah.
And I guess that also builds in resilience as well. Sorry, you're going to say there, Kelly? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is exactly when I said about us being detectives. You can go there with a plan of what, you know, there is a plan on every pest we go and treat. We do this, we do that. It's not till you get there and you think, okay, didn't expect that. Okay, and it is literally 90% of the time, because you have a plan of the basic how you're going to treat, but every time it's different, and you have to, like you say, you have to adapt your plan. It is all about, as I say, being a detective, solving the problem, and that's the big one. It is solving the problem, which covers, you know, your adaptability, your planning, and you know, all those sort of skill sets you're talking about.
The military and forces sort of, you know, probably prepared you for, and also, you know, planning in relation to the, you know, to the business. Well, okay, where's this business going? Where do I want it to go? What do I want to achieve? So on that note, what's the biggest challenge that you've faced being a business owner?
I sort of touched on it earlier, right from the start, having not been in a business or working for a business, you know, obviously you're very cocooned in the military, from everyday life, should I say. And it's not till you come out that you start learning, even more so when running a business, learning all the my first sort of year in business was, the learning curve was massive, and understanding, you know, it's not just about going out and doing the job. You know, it's also understanding, you know, how do I deal with a non-payer? How do I, you know, someone's not happy and they want to, you know, take it further, and or, you know, it's all these sort of these problems. They were problems. Everything was solvable, and I used to go networking in my first year quite a lot. I didn't go networking to get customers. I used to go networking to speak to people, and it's a lonely place out there when you're a one-man band.
Yeah.
And sometimes you haven't got that wealth of knowledge around you, you know, multiplied by the fact that I didn't know a lot anyway. It became a bit of a, I wouldn't say scary place. It's just daunting. It's daunting. And sometimes, you know, am I doing it right? I don't really know. My first few years in business, I didn't, you know, I speak to the accountant and say this, that, the other, yeah, this is all going well. And I'm like, is that good? I've got nothing to compare against. So I can't really, you know, you're saying it's all right, you know, everything's all right, as in correct.
Yeah.
Is it good? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to, I think it's going well, but, you know, and that's, I think that was the challenging part. The real challenging part is not having anything to compare anything against, and being quite lonely place. Yeah, in the early days.
It's like, you know, I always think being a business owner is a relatively lonely place anyway, even not just in the early days. But I mean, you said you got a team of about 8 people. But as a business owner, you don't always want to share everything with your employees. There might be some things that, you know, you might not be comfortable sharing, or whatever it may be, or you may not want to, you know. I'm a firm believer of, involve the team, but there could be some things that you don't want to. And then if you know, with your partner, you don't always want to talk to your business about your partner, because you don't want to burden them. And so, it can be quite a lonely place. So I think that's a good And I love that you said that, Kelly, because from this discussion, I want people to pick up those things and go, actually, oh, yeah, I feel lonely as a business owner, and so it's actually I'm not odd, I'm not different. Other
Yeah.
people feel that as well. So I'm really glad you were open and honest to share that. So you mentioned there that you went networking to speak to other business owners. Are there, how else have you come to terms with that? That being a business owner can be lonely.
I think just that in itself gives you confidence. I say I used to have problems, not with the pest controls. I mean, the pest control was the pest control, and that's fine. All my problems were business related,
Mm.
and it doesn't matter if you're in pest control, you're an electrician, you're a therapist, whatever. I think they're all dealing with the same problems, but just speaking to other people, um, and I used to use it as a sounding board of certain people I used to chat to, and you sort of make these relationships with other people that are going through the same sort of things as you, and they listen to your problems and make a few suggestions, and likewise, whether it be I had the same problem, or they had the same problem as me, but or just a different outlook. And sometimes you think, oh God, that eureka moment. Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, of course. And that's what it was all about. It was just talking to other people and not being scared to open up about maybe some of your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Um, uh, because that's what it was. Some of my biggest weaknesses in the early days was my knowledge and understanding of taxation and
Still a weakness for me, yeah. Understanding tax, yeah.
yeah, and like I said, I'd speak to people. I had my accountant. I'd also speak to other accountants, because it's good to know that um, you can talk to them about stuff, and they'll also confidence that they'll tell you the same stuff as you're getting back from.
Yeah, great stuff. I like that. Like that being amongst the community where you can talk to people and people can say, look, yeah, have you thought of this or have you thought of that, and sharing those
Yeah.
things, and but also accepting. I like what you sort of said there, accepting that we all have weaknesses. We don't get taught how to run a business, or most of us don't get taught how to run a business. There's not those classes at school on marketing or recruiting people, and my daughter's, I mean, she's recently done an A-level in business, but it's not about running a business when you do a business at school. But so we shouldn't expect to be really good at it. We've got to learn stuff, and I wrote down there learning as well. That first year, that big learning curve. So what does the future look like for you, and what do you see as the main challenge moving forward?
Main challenge. I mean, we've it's going. I think really it's going from that. We're I say we're a team of 8 at the moment. I've got 3 in the office. One of them being my wife. So going back to that, I do. My wife is a bit of a sounding board sometimes, but we're in that sort of going from a small business to moving up to the bigger, the contracts are getting bigger, the the general size of the team is getting bigger fleet, equipment, more, everything's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that for me is is the challenge of getting my head around. Stop thinking. I used to worry in my early days. I used to worry about what everyone else is doing, what competitors are doing. I very quickly learned that never mind what they're doing, worry about what you're doing, and get on with it.
Yeah.
rather than being concerned about what's happening left and right. Is, you know, be focused on what you're doing and get on with it. And the challenges are obviously, once again, it becomes a bit of a worry. The bigger you get, the higher you are, the more you can fall. The higher the taller you get, the higher you can fall.
Yeah.
And making sure that we don't get it wrong. The beauty of our business is we don't all have eggs in one basket, so to speak. We're delivering contracts to, you know, we've probably got about 180, 190 different contracts. So if we lose one, we lose one. It's not a problem. It's not like lose a contract, that's it. The business is fold. So, and that's something I wanted to concentrate on as well, not being getting tied down by one big company to end up doing all my work.
Diversified in.
Right. Yeah, you spread it, and really think about, yeah. I've given advice before to another pest control company. Well, getting very involved with one company, and I said, you know, you need to be careful, because what happens, there's always someone behind you that will do it a little bit cheaper, a little bit, and you know, and sure enough, that's what happened, and they were getting bigger, not to the same size as us, but they're taking on a few guys, and then yeah, it all come crashing down. So you know,
Great piece of advice there. You know, just
yeah,
don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have a spread of business. I like.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, spread. I say that's why we do spread our business out with what we do, and you know, having that reactive product. Some companies, you know, only deal with commercial, and I
Right.
think you're sort of in your field. I do understand why some people, you know, prefer to work just on the commercial circuit, but I think you've got to diversify and make yourself more open to anything really, and that's what we do.
Right. Thank you. So look, Kelly, there's one thing here that there's one question that I always ask everybody that's kind enough to join me, and that is, what is the best advice you would give to an 18-year-old you? So if you could go back in time and speak to an 18-year-old you, what would you say?
Um, in the early days, I wouldn't change a thing. My early days in the army really set me up for life. It was yeah, it really, I had a, you know, really interesting career, and I wouldn't change a thing, to be honest. I wouldn't change a thing from those early days. In business, what I've mentioned a few things. First of all, was the worry about what you're doing, not what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And something I really sort of didn't get to grips with is looking after. In the early days, I became a bit of a workaholic. I think that's a norm, and forgetting I've got a life to lead. And my business advice, you know, from when I started a business was, you know, there's two sides of business. You know, there's work and there's downtime, and I probably didn't do enough of the downtime. It's only in the last year or so I've taken on an operations manager, and we're trying to spread the work and have crossover. So I know what I'm doing, and he knows what I'm doing, and I know what he's doing, and he knows what he's doing, and yeah, we've got crossover within the business to give us strength and depth of what if someone leaves, what if someone and that all boils down to I tried to do everything I was trying to do everything myself, and yeah, my advice would be to live your life as well as run your business.
Get that, you know, I know we all hear it, but the work-life balance, and look, one of the phrases that I always use is, you know, that actually your business should give you the life that you want. And that's why we should be in business. We should be in business so that it gives us the life that we want. Unfortunately, with most business owners, the business runs their life.
Yeah.
It's the other way around. But actually, we should remind ourselves that actually the main reason that we've become business owners is to have the life that we want, whatever that may be. That's different for all of us. You know, what you want in your life is probably different to what I want in my life, but you want your business to give you the life that you want. I want my business to give me the life that I want.
Yeah.
And we just need to keep reminding ourselves of that. So look, some great advice there. What, you know, so don't worry about, you know, what others are doing. Focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, make sure you enjoy your life. Get the right balance between your business and enjoying life as well. Some great pieces of advice there, Kelly. So thank you very much for that. And look, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and sharing more about your business and your journey. So thank you very much.
Thank you.